Hello and welcome back to the reading of the Holy Bible. Today we will be continuing with Josue, chapters 21, 22, 23, and 24. Chapter 21, Cities for the Levites. Then the princes of the families of Levi came to Eleazar the priest, and to Josue the son of Nun, and to the princes of the kindreds of all the tribes of the children of Israel. And they spoke to them in Silo in the land of Canaan, and said, The Lord commanded by the hand of Moses that cities should be given us to dwell in, and their suburbs to feed our cattle. And the children of Israel gave out of their possessions according to the commandment of the Lord, cities and their suburbs. And the lot came out for the family of Kath of the children of Aaron the priest. Out of the tribes of Judah and of Simeon and of Benjamin 13 cities, and to the rest of the children of Kath, that is, to the Levites, who remained out of the tribes of Ephraim and of Dan, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, 10 cities. And the lot came out of the children of Gershon, that they should take of the tribes of Issachar, and of Aser, and of Naphtali, and of the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan, 13 cities. And to the sons of Merari, by their kindreds of the tribes of Reuben, and of Gad, and of Zabulon, 12 cities. And the children of Israel gave to the Levites the cities and their suburbs, as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses, given to every one by lot. Of the tribes of the children of Judah and of Simeon, Josue gave cities whose names are these: to the sons of Aaron of the families of Kath of the race of Levi, for the first lot came out for them, the city of Arb, the father of Enoch, which is called Hebron, and the mountain of Judah, and the suburbs thereof round about. But the fields and the villages thereof he had given to Caleb the son of Jephunneh for his possession. He gave therefore to the children of Aaron the priest Hebron, a city of refuge, and the suburbs thereof, and Labnah with the suburbs thereof, and Jether, and Estemo, and Holon, and Debir, and Ain, and Jeddah, and Bethsemes with their suburbs, 9 cities out of the 2 tribes, as hath been said. And out of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, Gabon, and Gebe, and Anathoth, and Alman with their suburbs, 4 cities. All the cities together of the children of Aaron the priest were 13, with their suburbs. Cities for the children of Kath. And to the rest of the families of the children of Kath, of the race of Levi, was given this possession. Of the tribe of Ephraim, Shechem, one of the cities of refuge, with the suburbs thereof in Mount Ephraim, and Gezer, and Sibsaim, and Beth Horon, with their suburbs, 4 cities. And of the tribe of Dan, Elthaco, and Gabathon, and Aelon, and Gathramon, with their suburbs, 4 cities. And of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Thanak, and Gathramon, with their suburbs, 2 cities. All the cities were 10, with their suburbs, which were given to the children of Kath, of the inferior degree. Cities for the children of Gershon. To the children of Gershon also of the race of Levi, out of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Galon and Bashan, one of the cities of refuge, and Basra with their suburbs, 2 cities. And of the tribe of Issachar, Session, and Dabereth, and Jeremoth, and Engannim, with their suburbs, 4 cities. And of the tribe of Aser, Masal, and Abdon, and Helkath, and Rohab, with their suburbs, 4 cities. Of the tribe also of Naphtali, Selis, and Galilee, one of the cities of refuge, and Hamath, Dor, and Carthon, with their suburbs, 3 cities. All the cities of the families of Gershon were 13, with their suburbs. Cities for the children of Merari. And to the children of Merari, Levites of the inferior degree, by their families, were given of the tribe of Zabulon, Jechnim, and Kartha, and Damnah, and Nalol, 4 cities with their suburbs. Of the tribe of Reuben, beyond the Jordan over against Jericho, Basor in the wilderness, one of the cities of refuge, Mesor, and Jaser, and Jethon, and Methath, 4 cities with their suburbs. Of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth, and Galad. I did forget, and we will continue. Verse 36, clarification. 4 cities. There are only 4, though there are 5 names. For Mesor is the same city as Bosor, which is to be observed in some other places, where the number of names exceeds the number of cities. Resuming with verse 37. Of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth, and Galad, one of the cities of refuge, and Manim, and Hesabon, and Jaser, 4 cities with their suburbs. All the cities of the children of Merari, by their families and kindreds, were 12. 48 cities to the Levites. So all the cities of the Levites within the possession of the children of Israel were 48, with their suburbs, each distributed by the families. Peace comes to the Israelites, and the Lord God gave to Israel all the land that he had sworn to give to their fathers, and they possessed it, and dwelt in it. And he gave them peace from all nations round about them, and none of their enemies durst stand against them, but were brought under their domination. Not so much as one word, which he had promised to perform unto them, was made void, but all came to pass. Chapter 22. Josue dismisses Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh. At the same time, Josue called the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh, said to them, You have done all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you. You have also obeyed me in all things, neither have you left your brethren this long time, until the present day, keeping the commandment of the Lord your God. Therefore, as the Lord your God hath given your brethren rest and peace, as he promised, return and go to your dwellings, into the land of your possession, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave you beyond the Jordan. Yet so that you observe attentively and work, fulfill the commandment and the law which Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, that you love the Lord your God, and walk in all his ways, and keep all his commandments, and cleave to him, and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. And Josue blessed them, and sent them away, and they returned to their dwellings. Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh depart. Now to half the tribe of Manasseh Moses had given possession in Bashan, and therefore to the half that remained Josue gave a lot among the rest of their brethren beyond the Jordan to the west. And when he sent them away to their dwelling, and had blessed them, he said to them, With much substance and riches you return to your settlements, with silver and gold, brass and iron, and variety of raiment. Divide the prey of your enemies with your brethren. So the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh returned and parted from the children of Israel and Sila, which is in Canaan, to go into Galaad, the land of their possession, which they had obtained according to the commandment of the Lord by the hand of Moses. Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh built an altar. And when they were come to the banks of the Jordan in the land of Canaan, they built an altar immensely, great near the Jordan. The other tribes were offended. And when the children of Israel had heard of it, and certain messengers had brought them an account that the children of Reuben and of Gad and the half-tribe of Manasseh had built an altar in the land of Canaan, upon the banks of the Jordan, over against the children of Israel, they all assembled in Silo, to go up and against them. And in the meantime they sent to them into the land of Galaad Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, and 10 princes with him, one of every tribe, who came to the children of Reuben and of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, into the land of Galaad, and said to them, Thus saith all the people of the Lord, What meaneth this transgression? Why have you forsaken the Lord, the God of Israel, building a sacrilegious altar, and revolting from the worship of him? Is it a small thing to you that you sinned with Belphegor, and the stain of that crime remaineth in us to this day? Many of the people perished, and you have forsaken the Lord today, and tomorrow his wrath will rage against all Israel. But if you think the land of your possession be unclean, pass over to the land wherein is the tabernacle of the Lord, and dwell among us. Only depart not from the Lord and from our society by building an altar beside the altar of the Lord our God. Did not Achan the son of Zerah transgress the commandment of the Lord, and his wrath lay upon all the people of Israel? And he was but one man, and would to God he alone had perished in his wickedness. Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh explained their altar. And the children of Reuben and of Gad and of the half-tribe of Manasseh answered the princes of the embassage of Israel, The Lord, the most mighty God, the Lord, the most mighty God. He knoweth, and Israel also shall understand. If with the design of transgression we have set up this altar, let him not save us, but punish us immediately. And if we did it with that mind, that we might lay upon it holocaust and sacrifice, and victims of peace offerings, let him require and judge, and not rather with this thought and design that we should say, Tomorrow your children will say to our children, What have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? The Lord hath put the children of Jordan for a border between us and you. O ye children of Reuben, and ye children of Gad, and therefore you have no part in the Lord. And by the occasion your children shall turn away our children from the feast of the Lord. We therefore thought it best, and said, Let us build us an altar, not for holocaust, nor to offer victims, but for a testimony between us and you, and our posterity and yours, that we may serve the Lord, that we may have a right to offer both holocausts, and victims and sacrifices of peace offerings, and that your children tomorrow may not say to our children, You have no part in the Lord. And if they will say so, they shall answer them, Behold, the altar of the Lord, which our fathers made, not for holocaust, nor for sacrifice, but for a testimony between us and you. God keep us from any such wickedness that we should revolt from the Lord, and leave off following his steps by building an altar to offer holocaust and sacrifices, and victims beside the altar of the Lord our God, which is erected among his tabernacle. friendship among the tribes was restored. And when Phinehas, the priest, and the princes of the embassage who were with him had heard this, they were satisfied. And they admitted most willingly the words of the children of Reuben and Gad and of the half-tribe of Manasseh. And Phinehas, the priest, the son of Eleazar, said to them, Now we know the Lord is with us, because you are not guilty of this revolt, and you have delivered the children of Israel from the hand of the Lord. And he returned with the princes from the children of Reuben and Gad out of the land of Galilee into the land of Canaan to the children of Israel, and brought them word again. And the saying pleased all that heard it. And the children of Israel praised God, and they no longer said that they would go up against him and fight and destroy the land of their possession. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad called the altar which they had built our testimony, that the Lord is God. Chapter 23. Josue as an old man counsels obedience. And when a long time was passed after that the Lord had given peace to Israel, all the nations round about being subdued, and Josue being now old and far advanced in years. I apologize, pardon me. Josue called for all Israel and for the elders and for the princes and for the judges and for the masters, and said to them, I am old and far advanced in years, and you see all that the Lord your God hath done to all the nations round about, how he himself hath fought for you. And now, since he hath divided to you by lot all the land from the east of the Jordan unto the great sea, and many nations yet remain, the Lord your God will destroy them, and take them away from before your face. And you shall possess the land as he hath promised you. Only take courage, and be careful to observe all things that are written in the book of the law of Moses, and turn not aside from them, neither to the right hand nor to the left, lest after that you are come in among the Gentiles, who will remain among you, you should swear by the name of their gods, and serve them, and adore them. But cleave ye unto the Lord your God, as you have done till this day. And then the Lord God will take away before your eyes nations that are great and very strong, and no one shall be able to resist you. One of you shall chase 1,000 men of the enemies, because the Lord your God himself will fight for you, as he hath promised. This only take care of with all diligence, that you love the Lord your God. Punishments for disobedience to God. But if you will embrace the errors of these nations that dwell among you, and make marriages with them, and join friendships, know ye for a certainty that the Lord your God will not destroy them before your face, but they shall be a pit and a snare in your way, and a stumbling block at your side, and stakes in your eyes, till he take you away, and destroy you from off this excellent land, which he hath given you. Behold, this day I am going into the way of all the earth, and you shall know with all your mind that of all the words which the Lord promised to perform for you, not one hath failed. Therefore, as he hath fulfilled indeed what he promised, and all things prosperous have come, so will he bring upon you all the evils he hath threatened, till he take you away and destroy you from off this excellent land, which he hath given you. When you shall have transgressed the covenant of the Lord your God, which he hath made with you, and shall have served strange gods and adored them, then shall the indignation of the Lord rise up quickly and speedily against you, and you shall be taken away from this excellent land which he hath delivered to you. Chapter 24. Josue recalls former blessings of God. And Josue gathered together all the tribes of Israel in Shechem, and called for the ancients and the princes and the judges and the masters, and they stood in the sight of the Lord. And he spoke thus to the people, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, Your fathers dwelt of old on the other side of the river. They are the father of Abraham and Nachor, and they serve strange gods. Verse 2, clarification. Of the river, the Euphrates. Resuming with verse 3. And I took your father Abraham from the borders of Mesopotamia, and brought him into the land of Canaan, and I multiplied his seed, and gave him Isaac. And to him again I gave Jacob and Esau. And I gave to Esau Mount Seir for his possession. But Jacob and his children went down into Egypt, and I sent Moses and Aaron. And I struck Egypt with many signs and wonders. And I brought you and your fathers out of Egypt. And you came to the sea, and the Egyptians pursued your fathers with chariots and horsemen as far as the Red Sea. And the children of Israel cried to the Lord, and he put darkness between you and the Egyptians, and brought the sea upon them, and covered them. Your eyes saw all that I did in Egypt, and you dwelt in the wilderness a long time. And I brought you into the land of the Amorite, who dwelt beyond the Jordan. And when they fought against you, I delivered them into your hands, and you possessed their land and slew them. And Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and fought against Israel. And he sent and called for Balaam, son of Beor, to curse you. And I would not hear him, but on the contrary I blessed you by him, and I delivered you out of his hand. And you passed over the Jordan, and you came to Jericho. And the men of that city fought against you, the Amorite, and the Pharisite, and the Canaanite, and the Hethite, and the Girgazite, and the Hiravite, and the Jebusite, and I delivered them into your hands. I sent before you hornets, and I drove them out from their places, the 2 kings of the Amorites, not with thy sword nor with thy bow. And I gave you a land in which you had not labored, and cities to dwell in which you built not, vineyards and olive yards which you planted not. People told to choose between God and idols. Now therefore fear the Lord. Now therefore fear the Lord, and serve him with a perfect and most sincere heart, and put away the gods which your fathers served in Mesopotamia and Egypt, and serve the Lord. But if it seem evil to you to serve the Lord, you have your choice. Choose this day that which pleaseth you, whom you would rather serve, whether the gods which your fathers served in Mesopotamia, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. The people choose to serve the true God. And the people answered and said, God forbid we should leave the Lord and serve strange gods. The Lord our God, he brought us and our fathers out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and did very great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way by which we journeyed, and among all the people through whom we passed. And he hath cast out all the nations of the Amorite, the inhabitant of the land to which we are come. Therefore we will serve the Lord, for he is our God. The people promised obedience, and Josue said to the people, You will not be able to serve the Lord, for he is a holy God and mighty and jealous, and will not forgive your wickedness and sins. Verse 19, clarification. You will not be able to serve the Lord. This was not said by way of discouraging them, but rather to make them more earnest and resolute, by setting before them the greatness of the undertaking and the courage and constancy necessary to accomplish the great task ahead. Resuming with verse 20. If you leave the Lord and serve strange gods, he will turn and will afflict you, and will destroy you after all the good he hath done unto you. And the people said to Josue, No, it shall not be as thou sayest, but we will serve the Lord. And Josue said to the people, You are witnesses that you yourselves have chosen you, the Lord, to serve him. And they answered, We are witnesses. Therefore, said he, Put away strange gods from among you, and incline your hearts to the Lord, the God of Israel. And the people said to Josue, We will serve the Lord our God, and we will be obedient to his commandments. Josue renews the covenant. Josue therefore in that day made a covenant, and set before the people commandments and judgments in Shechem. And he wrote all these things in the volume of the law of the Lord. And he took a great stone and set it under the oak that was in the sanctuary of the Lord. And he said to all the people, I apologize. Ugh. And he said to all the people, Behold, this stone shall be a testimony unto you, that it hath heard all the words of the Lord, which he hath spoken to you, lest perhaps hereafter you will deny it, and lie to the Lord your God. And he sent the people away, every one of their own possession. Verse 27, clarification. It hath heard. This is a figure of speech by which sensation is attributed to inanimate things, and they are called upon, as it were, to bear witness in favor of the great Creator, whom they, on their part, constantly obey. Resuming with verse 29. Death of Josue and Eleazar. And after these things, Josue, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died, being 110 years old, and they buried him in the border of his possession in Thaimnether, which is situated in Mount Ephraim, on the north side of Mount Gath. Verse 29, clarification. And after these things, if Josue wrote this book, as is commonly believed, these last verses were added by Samuel or some other prophet, who either observed or learned later of the events recorded. Resuming with verse 31. And Israel served the Lord all the days of Josue, and of the ancients that lived a long time after Josue, and that had known all the works of the Lord, which he had done in Israel, and the bones of Joseph, was the children of Israel taken out of Egypt, they buried in Shechem, in that part of the field which Jacob had bought of the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 young ewes, and it was in the possession of the sons of Joseph. Eleazar, also the son of Aaron, died, and they buried him in Gabath, that belonged to Phinehas his son, which was given him in Mount Ephraim. And that was Josue chapters 21, 22, 23, and 24. Join me next week as we continue with the next book in the Bible, the book of Judges, as we will reach chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thank you very much for joining me. You make sure that you all have a wonderful day, and God bless.